Toni Morrison once said, "If there is a book you want to read but it hasn't been written yet, then you must be the one to write it."
But she wasn't just speaking to writers. She was speaking to anyone who has ever felt the quiet nudge inside them that says, "You are meant for more."
She believed reinvention is not a dramatic event. It is a subtle unfolding, a gentle reclaiming, a moment when you finally decide that your life is yours again. She reminds you that the world will try to name you, shape you, confine you, but your identity is not fixed. You can let go of the stories that made you small. You can outgrow the roles you were assigned. You can begin again, even now, even here. Morrison understood that reinvention often begins in silence. It begins in the moment when your old life no longer fits. When the things you've been doing stop matching who you are becoming. It's not failure, it's evolution. She teaches that it's never too late to write a new story for yourself. Age does not limit possibility. Circumstances do not restrict imagination. Reinvention is for anyone willing to step into a new chapter with honesty and courage. There is a future version of you waiting to be written, and Toni Morrison invites you to pick up the pen. Toni Morrison believed that people often live inside stories that are too small for them. Stories inherited from family, culture, insecurity, and past disappointments. Stories that once kept you safe, but eventually begin to suffocate you. She taught that reinventing yourself is not an act of rebellion. It is an act of truth, a return to your authentic self. Morrison understood that many people wake up one day and realize they've been living a life that doesn't feel like theirs. A life built from obligations, expectations, or fear. A life crafted from what others needed instead of what they wanted. Reinvention for her begins with the moment you acknowledge this truth. I have outgrown who I used to be. That realization is not a crisis. It is a calling. Toni Morrison invites you to examine the roles you've been playing. Some of them you accepted because you didn't know you had a choice. Some you accepted because you thought you needed permission to change. Some you accepted because you didn't yet know your own power. But the moment you question the role, you reclaim your identity. She taught that creativity is not just for artists. Creativity is the act of shaping your own life. You can reshape your direction. You can rewrite your story. You can break patterns that once felt unbreakable. And you can do this at 20, 40, 60, 80. There is no expiration date on becoming yourself. Morrison's work was filled with characters who reinvented themselves not because life was easy, but because life insisted they evolve. And she believed you are allowed to grow, even if others preferred the version of you that stayed small. There is a moment in every life when you must choose between the familiar and the true, between staying where you've been or becoming who you were meant to be. Her message is this: you are not too late, you are not behind. Your new beginning is waiting for your courage, not your timing. There comes a time in every life when the story you've been living no longer fits, when the chapters you've committed to start feeling too small, too limiting, too borrowed. And in that moment, many people freeze. They think, I'm too far in, too old to change, too late to start again. But that is a lie the world tells you, not the truth of your soul. Reinvention does not care about your age, your past mistakes, or the years you think you've wasted. Reinvention is available the moment you decide that your life deserves a new narrative. The moment you say, this chapter is done, the next one is mine. People often imagine beginnings as youthful things, something meant for the young, the unburdened, the unbroken. But the most profound beginnings, the most powerful rebirths, come from those who have lived, who have carried heartbreak, who have known disappointment deeply enough to transform it. You are allowed to stop being who the world told you to be. You are allowed to outgrow the identities that once protected you, but now restrict you. You are allowed to step into the version of yourself that feels truer, fuller, more aligned with the voice inside you. Identity is not a prison. It is a landscape. You walk it, you shape it, you leave it, You return to it, you plant in it, you pull roots from it, and sometimes you burn it to the ground so something new can bloom. You do not have to apologize for changing. You do not have to explain why you no longer feel at home in the places or versions of yourself that once felt safe. Growth is not betrayal. Reinvention is not abandonment. It is the natural evolution of a soul that refuses to shrink. If there is a story inside you, one you've been too afraid to tell, too self-doubting to start, understand this. You don't have to be ready. You just have to be willing. Willing to try. Willing to fail. Willing to rise again. Every masterpiece starts with a blank page. And at any age, you are allowed to pick up the pen again.
Rumi teaches that every experience in your life, joy, heartbreak, confusion, endings, is guiding you toward your becoming. He reminds you that you are not starting over from nothing, you are starting over from wisdom. He wrote, "When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about." Meaning, when you return to yourself, truly and completely, the noise of the world fades. What matters becomes clear. Rumi's message about reinvention is simple. Let the old doors close. Let the ones that open surprise you. You are allowed to leave a path that no longer feels like yours. You are allowed to walk away from identities that feel heavy. You are allowed to choose a life that feels like home. He teaches that your calling will whisper before it shouts. It will appear as a restlessness, a curiosity, a longing to rediscover parts of yourself that you buried to survive. Reinvention, to Rumi, is not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to the person you were before the world told you who to be. If you are standing at a doorway, uncertain, afraid, unsure, Rumi reminds you, as you start to walk on the way appears. Start walking, your path will meet you. Rumi provides a spiritual lens on reinvention. He invites you to see it not as a restart, but as a returning. A return to the soul you abandoned for survival. A return to the dreams you postponed. A return to the voice inside you that once whispered, "This is who you truly are." He taught that endings are not punishments. They are guidance. Every closed door is a redirection. Every loss is an invitation to redirect your energy. Every disruption is a message that you are being moved toward your deeper path. Rumi asks you to consider something profound. What if the thing you're afraid to leave is the very thing holding you back from becoming yourself? He believed there is a sacred reason you feel restless, a reason certain chapters become heavy, a reason you keep imagining a life that feels more honest, more expansive, more aligned. Reinvention, to Rumi, is not about discarding your past. It is about harvesting its wisdom. He encourages you to look at your past attachments, old beliefs, and outdated identities with compassion, not judgment. They brought you here, they served a purpose, but they do not need to define your future. Rumi reminds you that fearing reinvention is natural. It is natural to question yourself. It is natural to wonder if you are too old to begin. It is natural to ask if the unknown will be kinder than the familiar, but he insists on this truth. What you seek is seeking you. Your future is not accidentally waiting, it is intentionally waiting. He teaches that as soon as you take the first step, no matter how uncertain, the path reveals itself. You don't need clarity for the entire journey. You only need enough courage to begin. Letting go is not abandonment, it is alignment. And starting again is not a loss, it is liberation. There are seasons in life when something deep within you whispers, "It's time." Even when nothing on the outside has changed, even when you don't feel prepared, even when you're scared, the soul knows. Your heart has been calling you towards something, a new path, a quiet desire, a long-ignored dream. But to step toward it, You must be willing to let go of the doors that have already closed. You must stop lingering in the hallways of what once was, hoping the past will open itself again. Some doors close not because you failed, but because you are being redirected. Some paths end because you are meant to walk another. What looks like an ending is often an invitation, a beginning disguised as loss, a new direction disguised as silence, a return to yourself disguised as uncertainty. You are not required to know exactly where the path leads. You only need to take the next step with sincerity. Trust is not certainty. Trust is movement. Trust is saying, I will walk even when I cannot see the full way forward. Every time life pulls something away from you, a role, a relationship, a dream that once gave you meaning, it is creating space for something truer, something that brings you back to your essence. Reinvention is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. It is about coming home to what has always been inside you, but was pushed away, buried, or forgotten. There is a light, a direction, a calling within you that has not dimmed despite everything you've lived through, and no matter your age, no matter the struggles behind you, life will open new doors when you dare to close the wrong ones. You are allowed to return to yourself again and again.
Wayne Dyer teaches that life begins the moment you stop repeating old stories. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not the labels others gave you. He believed reinvention is not only possible, it is your birthright. Dyer often said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This is the essence of starting again. You don't force a new life. You shift your mindset, and life shifts with it. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need the willingness to step out of the patterns that keep you stuck. He teaches that your story is a living thing. You can rewrite it today. You can let go of resentment, guilt, fear, and self-doubt. You can release the identities that feel outdated. Wayne Dyer believed the universe responds when you declare, I choose differently now. When you stop defending your limitations. When you stop telling the story of why you can't. When you stop waiting for someone to give you permission. Starting again is not a failure. It is a spiritual reset, a decision to align who you are with who you are becoming. You are allowed to reinvent your relationships, your goals, your dreams, your career, your beliefs, your daily habits, everything. You are allowed to let go of the version of yourself that survived so you can step into the version of yourself that thrives. Dyer's message is clear. You can begin again, right now, at any age. Wayne Dyer believed that you can start again at any moment because your life is shaped not by your past, but by your inner narrative. He taught something revolutionary. Your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. So if a thought no longer represents who you want to be, you can dismantle it and build something new in its place. Dyer believed the most powerful form of reinvention is not changing your circumstances, it is changing your perspective. You don't reinvent yourself only when life collapses. You reinvent yourself anytime you decide the story you've been living no longer aligns with your truth. Many people wait. They wait to feel confident. They wait for the perfect time. They wait until they stop being afraid. Dyer challenges this completely. He explains that waiting for readiness is how dreams evaporate. Waiting for permission is how life becomes a pattern instead of an adventure. You are allowed to begin before you feel qualified. You are allowed to rewrite your identity without justification. You are allowed to evolve into a person your past self wouldn't recognize. Reinvention is choosing presence over regret, choosing possibility over limitation, choosing courage over certainty. Dyer believed that your life follows your intention. If you intend to heal, you will find the path. If you intend to grow, opportunities will appear. If you intend to change, the universe will rearrange around your decision. He reminds you that every morning is a blank page. Every choice is a new sentence. Every thought is a brushstroke on the canvas of your becoming. You are allowed to start again, without guilt, without shame, without explanation. Your age does not define your potential. Your past does not define your worth. Your circumstances do not define your destiny. You define all of it. Every day you wake up, you are given a simple but powerful choice. Continue repeating the story you've always told about yourself, or begin writing a new one. Your past is not a prophecy. It is not a sentence. It is not a chain around your neck. Your past is simply a collection of experiences that shaped you, but they do not have the final say in who you get to become. The moment you decide to reinterpret your story, your future changes instantly. So many people believe reinvention requires a dramatic event, quitting everything, moving across the world, starting from nothing. But reinvention often begins quietly. It starts with a single thought: I am capable of more than what I'm settling for. When you begin again, you aren't betraying your past self. You're honoring the version of you who always hoped you would evolve. You're choosing growth over stagnation, possibility over fear. You are not limited by the age you are, the mistakes you've made, or the years you think you've lost. You are limited only by the belief that you must stay the same. There is no wrong moment to start again. There is only the moment when you finally decide that your life deserves more intention, more truth, more alignment. Your mind is a powerful tool. If you tell it you're too old, it will agree. If you tell it you're unprepared, it will find evidence. But if you tell it, I can change, I can begin, I can reinvent, it will support you with 1,000 unseen possibilities. Let today be the day you rewrite the narrative. Not because everything is perfect, not because the timing is ideal, but because you deserve a life that reflects who you are, not who you used to be. You are allowed to start again. At any age, as many times as it takes.